Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming. Let's play some more Endless Legend. It's been a little while since I last played, and not since our Mykera campaign back during the release of Symbiosis, and I'm in the mood. We're going to be playing as the Broken Lords today, because it is a pretty fun and different faction. Who doesn't enjoy playing as vampire robot knights? Sort of. I mean, that's really the best way I can describe them, and it's vaguely accurate. They are people who digitize themselves into clouds of dust that are contained within suits of armor, and of course dust is a cloud of nanites, so it's kind of robotic, but they also sustain themselves by feeding on the dust and the energy of other living creatures, so they're kind of vampires at the same time. They're fun. They have a very different playstyle and build order, I think. I certainly haven't mastered it yet, but I am looking forward to trying them out, and we are going to be bumping things up to the impossible difficulty. I'm not sure if I'm good enough for this yet, but I do want to be constantly ramping up difficulty. I don't want to rely too much on the crutch of Serious. So let's go ahead and start up a new campaign and really hope that we get something good. I'm hoping for a desert to begin. Something with a river would certainly be nice, and maybe some delvers? I don't know yet.
We were different once. We fought, drank, and loved as mortal beings. But our world changed and we faced a stark choice. Alter our bodies or perish. Yet survival is not the same as life. Now we are prisoners of the armor that binds us and the dust that sustains us. We must drain dust, drain energy, or die. Where is our honor now, Lords of the Amber Plains? And what matters more, to reclaim our honor or sustain our bodies?
Alright, now obviously the Broken Lords have existed pretty much since the beginning of Endless Legend. They were one of the initial factions introduced, so they've been around for a while. A lot of people are familiar with them, but I don't see them get played all that often on YouTube, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to try it out. Alright, we did start off in a desert region, which I'm a big fan of. Lots of industry and science and dust available. Actually, it's not even just a desert, it is a sandstone desert region. That's pretty fun. Rumbling stones down over here. Okay, and then there's also a salt desert. That's a pretty good amount of dust. Like, this looks like a very enticing start for me. Very, very strong, ultimately, but we should certainly explore a little bit more, find out if there's anything else that we care about. I'll go ahead and grab a stalwart. Delvers? Oh-ho. Oh-ho. Okay, well, I mean, awesome. This is as good of a start, really, as you could hope for, except for maybe a river running right here. Instead, we got one up to the north that I'm probably not going to take advantage of, but even so, that is certainly really, really nice for a starting region. We also see a dirt biome over this direction. Not as good as I would have hoped for. I would like to see another desert at some point if possible. Now, one thing that may jump out to you right off the bat is you'll notice there's no food anywhere on the entire map. That's because the Broken Lords don't use food. We're robots. We're robot vampires, like I explained, so we have an appetite for dust as a result. We cannot see, gather, or use food. We can instead use dust to simply create new pops instead of generate them over time. We also cannot regenerate our units' HP. We have to be using dust to heal them, which means in the early game as the Broken Lords, you don't really want to engage in a lot of fighting unless you're going for an early aggression kind of kill on another player, just because it really can hurt your economy, spending a lot of money trying to regenerate your Broken Lords. Let's see, we have a few other interesting things here. Dust efficient is nice, so all terrain with dust has extra dust, so it's just intended to make a lot of money. Kind of make up for the lack of food there. We do have a couple of unique units. The Dust Bishop is a nice support unit we'll get in, I think, Era 2. And this can be used to sustain your units by providing some extra healing. So they're pretty nice to have. They give you a lot of sustain. It's a lot cheaper to do that. Riders are excellent cavalry units, so I kind of like using them. Stalwarts are... they're okay. I would say that their stats are not stellar. What they really have as an advantage is they have very high defense for this stage of the game, so they're tanky, and that's about it. We do start off with the advanced armor tech, which is meh. I don't usually use this, but it can be good. And we do have the Empire Mint to start, which makes a lot of sense since we rely so much on dust. This is obviously going to be pretty helpful for us. All right, let's go ahead and grab the stalwarts and explore a little bit over to the south and the east, see if there's anything a little bit better. Well, there's still some more rumbling stones, which I like, but I'm not seeing anything outstanding in this direction. Yeah, okay. So I do think we want to settle in this area. I think I'm going to go ahead and separate the hero. And the hero is probably going to be better for us as a general rather than a governor. But if we take the settler here, let's just take a quick look-see. So up over here around the river, just not optimal placement, no matter how you cut it. I mean, yeah, it does have some approval, which is nice in this area. And that's coming from whichever anomaly this is. I don't remember off the top of my head. If we settled right here, for example, yeah, we get some pretty good stuff. We'd get a reasonable amount of science and dust, and 9 industry, which is pretty good, because that allows for some very good early expansion. On the other hand, if we move over here, 11, 7, and 20. That's such an outstandingly good start. How could I possibly say no to that? Now, let's see. If we move a little bit over, I'm just seeing if there's anything better. 11, 7, and 20, so that's the same 11, 8, and 18. You'd be sacrificing 2 dust to get a little bit more science, which is okay. I think you actually can make an argument this is actually better, but I think I am going to settle right here. It keeps me in pretty close range where we can access the approval anomaly pretty early on, and that will make it a little bit easier to sustain my primary city. So this seems like an excellent starting location. Let's just go ahead and pick it up. All right. We found our starting city of Gala. Gaia? Gala? Blibbe. I don't know. All right, hero, I'd like you to go ahead and explore a little bit. We get some dust. I just want to get the extra XP on the hero. Kind of as early as possible, make them a little bit better. Could use my units to get the extra XP, and that is certainly nice, but way more important to me that I have a better hero. Ah, darn. All right, unlucky there, but that's fine. So, for our starting buildings, now, since we started with 11 industry, we could potentially go straight for a settler. I mean, yeah, the only way to do that, of course, is to have an extra pop, but guess what? As the Broken Lords, we can spend 52 dust to just buy another pop right now. Boom! Look at that. And then we could actually just rush directly into another settler. The only problem is, in my limited exploration thus far, I have not seen a really good settling location. This looks like 2 food regions, which is not going to be very good for me. The reason I like deserts is because they already don't have a lot of food, so they work very well for the Broken Lords. Dirt, maybe. I don't know what's up over here. Mountain forests? Dirt fields? Maybe. Okay, so to the north and the west, we do see some opportunities. I think I'm going to go for a very, very aggressive early settler. It's extremely aggressive, but it might work, and then we'll go for the Founders Memorial. Yeah, I think we are going to try for it. It seems a little risky. I'm really counting on this working, but we got a hefty amount of starting industry. Getting that early city actually could be fantastic. That does mean that we have a fair bit of time before I can build anything new in the city. So we do want to go for probably a language square to start. That only is going to take me 4 turns. We actually have enough science generation. I can whip through some of this tech pretty early on. And then after that, yeah, absolutely the mill foundry. That's a hefty amount of extra industry, and I want to be stacking up some bonuses here as much as we can. Now, you might be thinking, why don't you just go ahead and put everybody you got on Dust, because Dust can get you more pops and stuff. And yeah, that is important. But I think even as the Broken Lords, Dust-hungry as they are, industry is still king in the very early game. It's going to be around Era 2 that we're going to start transitioning away from industry and heavily into Dust. And the reason we want to do that is partly because of the Prisoners, Slaves, and Volunteers tech, which reduces buyout cost reduction by 25% for units and for buildings, on top of, eventually, some Empire plans, which we should see, I think in Era 2, or maybe it's 3. In one of these, there is a buyout cost reduction here as well. So you really start stacking up the value with that dust, and that can be pretty darn nice. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next turn. Starting with Delvers is certainly nice. I think we only have one region, which is not as good as it could have been. Sorry, not one region. One minor faction. There we go. One village in the region. Obviously, if we had more Delvers, that would have been great. But we didn't get lucky. All right, we have our faction quest. The quakes and fires appear to be over. We lost a city and are now homeless, but we are strong and remain unbowed. The first step is to secure our new home, to found a city, build an army, and explore the ancient places. For our experience tells us this, if it tells us nothing else. The ancient ruins scattered across the map are places of great knowledge, great wealth, and great danger. For all of those reasons, we must explore and exploit them. With caution, however, any place of great value will be guarded by creatures of great strength. We must not forget this. Exploration will also take their mind off of our condition, and this new method for dealing with it. Dust is expensive and difficult to exploit, but this new way This draining of living souls to sustain our own forms. It goes against who we are. It violates our principles, our honor. It is everything we have been fighting against. And yet, it is easy. Alright, so if we can get a Broken Lord's hero with another infantry unit, we can get some free Quicksilver by exploring not too far away. Quicksilver is okay. I mean, yeah, XP on units and stuff is certainly nice. Not the worst thing in the world to have. Let's use these guys to explore a little bit more of my starting region, make sure there's nothing else down over here that I really want. Well, there's some very interesting stuff down here. Fascinating. A couple more pretty high production anomalies. There's an argument to be made to start building our city in a line pattern to start working down this way, but we'll kind of reevaluate. Mostly, I want to explore my neighboring regions and see if there's anything really good for a settling location. Nothing's really jumping out at me yet, but that could change. The hero, of course, is going to get some more XP by exploring the ruins. Okay, 30 more dust. Love to see that. Okay, we found haunts, science, and a flying unit. It's not bad. Not bad at all. There is another desert over this direction, which automatically makes this a very tempting area for me. And it looks like some more sandstone. I don't really care about Shrubland, whatever the heck that is. It's just lame. Alright, so 7 turns on the settler, you say. Well, we're generating 12 dust per turn. It's going to be at least a couple more turns before I can buy another population. And obviously that would speed things up nicely, but okay. We'll go for it. Remember, we're playing on a normal speed, so everything does take a little bit longer to build than if this were on a quick speed. But I would say, honestly, we're going very fast. Starting off with this much industry this early on is really, really good. Let's see, 30 more dust for us. That actually does allow us to buy another pop right now, which is great. So we get a little bit more industry, and I think we did shave off a turn, so I like that. Let's see, Nydia. They're all right. Flying unit, again, can be helpful. Let's see, I think I want to explore a bit more this direction and see if there's anything really good here. 2 Nydia in this area. Okay. Nothing's really jumping out at me as extraordinarily good here. If I saw, like, let's say a golden tree or some really good anomaly, I would consider that a bit more. But thus far, the answer appears to be no. Let's see what's over here, though. I'm seeing a desert region, which means automatically I kind of like this area. Dorgeshi. Okay. More luxury resources is certainly not bad. I do see what I would consider to be a really good settling location over here. Got your ruby cactus fields for extra dust. You got your salt desert for more dust. And you got your spiral rock peel for approval and for production. Yeah, this is actually a very, very solid start over here. Okay, this is probably where I'm going to settle. Right over here, we're going to stick to the deserts. And the cool thing about deserts is not a lot of other empires really bother with deserts because not a lot of them really benefit from the complete lack of food. Unlike the Broken Lords, which really like the fact that there's no food. Screw vegetation, am I right? Frickin' bring on the global warming. Let's just boil the planet and turn everything into dust. Like, literally. Turn everything into the dust. Alright, let's see. So we are into the next turn. Let's just see what else is in this area. So some glass steel. Love it. There's step soil over here for even more approval. The food, obviously, is useless to me. But if we need to be expanding the city out a bit more, like, I wouldn't settle around here. I probably would still settle up over here. But if we find ourselves having approval issues, that's a very easy way to fix it. It's nice having easy solutions. What the heck is this? Okay. So, fungal blooms. There are Mycera right over here. Good to know. I cannot really decide if Mycera are weak enough that we want to do a military rush on them. Probably not. I don't really know. I spent a lot of time... Hello, Kazanji. Spent a bit of time kind of researching, like, build orders for the Broken Lords in preparation for the series. Because, you know, I like to try and prepare a little bit. I want to be good at the game. That just means I need a lot of practice and so on. Let's see. But these guys were all existing before the Mycera existed, so I have to kind of go by my own experience. And I know that they can be good at conquest, but in the early game, are they that strong? The hero they have is very strong. We might want to eliminate them pretty early on. The good news is, unless they decide to be aggressive with me, I'm pretty confident they're not going to go very far, because they can't expand. They can't build any settlers. So what that actually tells me is, over in this direction, odds are pretty good that I'm going to be able to expand into neighboring regions more or less unchecked, unless there are some other players relatively close by. And considering we started in the middle of the map in kind of an equator region, that's entirely possible. Really hard to tell for sure, obviously. But we can make educated guesses. Language Square Tech is done. All right, now we're going to start working on that mill foundry. In 3 turns, we will be done with our settler. Then we'll start working on the Founders Memorial. So by the time we're done with the Founders Memorial, we'll be ready to start up the mill foundry immediately afterwards. And I still think that's more important than going for the Empire Mint. Though the Empire Mint, of course, is certainly quite good. Let's see. What else is over here? I'm not sure I necessarily want to meet them. I could potentially dispose of their bloom. I don't necessarily need to do that right now, though. Did I just lose extra movement for walking next to this? I wasn't sure if it would exert a zone of control or not. I still can't tell if it did. All right. So, I've explored my entire starting region. One thing that jumps out to me, no titanium, but it does have some glass steel deposit, so that's okay. I think I will probably explore a little bit more down this way. I see a lot of industry, but again, this is mostly supposed to be food. We don't benefit a lot from these regions down to the south and to the east. So none of this seems great. Aside from exploring for ruins, I don't think we're going to end up doing anything over there at all. We did find eyeless ones, who I like a lot. You get a lot of extra approval if you can find a bunch of these guys. And if we are going to go for a pretty expansionist style of play, that works very well for me. So depending on what's in this region, being mostly mountains, if we can find a good source of dust up here, there's some potential here. I mean, I do see a geothermal pit, but that's about it. So far, I would say this is a solid C, whereas this is like A+. Fantastic settling location. All right, moving on. Moving on. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, don't I? I'm telling you, I've been trying to prep. But by no means am I an expert. I mean, I wish I could say that I can beat this game regularly on endless difficulty, but to be honest, I just haven't put nearly enough time into the game to be that good at it. But I'm dang well trying. I am dang well trying. All right, so do we want to just look for ruins, I guess? Let's go find out what's over probably to the east and the southeast and so on. I'm going to continue exploring this region, see what else is going on over here. Okay, so we have a life tree. That's even more approval. So now I definitely am settling on this direction. We could just move up here. Forget the food. The food means nothing to me. But up over here, this is reasonable. And there are some more Dorgeshi. So it looks like 2 Dorgeshi villages. That's not bad, if only we can find more luxuries. As of right now, it looks like the only luxury I have discovered is some wine in a region that I'm not going to take advantage of. That's unfortunate. Highly unfortunate. But what can you do? The answer is not much. You can't do a lot about it. Now, I'm pretty confident we're not going to generate anywhere near enough influence to get an Empire plan, especially since we are going for the fastest possible expand. So that presents a slight problem for me. Okay, there's a little dust in the area. It's not extraordinary, but it exists. Found nothing there. Never lucky. Found some titanium, though. Let's see. We're going to go this way. Okay, so that's this entire region explored. I don't know if I necessarily want to provoke the fungal people yet. There is, however, a ruin. I'm looking for anything that helps level up my hero a little bit faster. We can always teleport the hero down to one of the stalwarts if we want to save some money. More eyeless ones down here. Oh, man. I mean, that's nice, you know? Sure, it is good. I like it, but I don't know. All right, there's our settler. Now, unfortunately, that does reduce my production, hence why our Founders Memorial just jumped down to 3 turns instead of 2. So the timing of our tech is not going to be quite perfect. Even so, we're going to go ahead and create a new army with this settler, and we know we're going up this direction because this is solid. We'll be able to spawn this before the roaming armies start walking around, I think. So that's going to be fine. A cold forest up over here is not terrible. That's just horrible there. Cold forests, I mean, yeah, there's a bit of extra dust and stuff. Usually food-less regions. Again, pretty valuable for a Broken Lord. Usually, regions that don't have a lot of food make up for it balance-wise in other ways by having lots of strategics or science or dust and so on. So that's one of the reasons I like this desert, because I know that that's going to work out really well for me. Let's see. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of stuff over here. If I were playing as a regular nation, this would be tempting. Looks to me like the Mycera might be already pacifying some of the Eyeless One villages. So they've got a military that's roaming, and this is, of course, on impossible difficulty, so you know they're going to be a little bit strong. I should have upgraded my settler. I forgot to do this. We could have settled one turn sooner had I done this. What we could have done is go to our settler, and we could have added on the trinket that gives them extra movement speed, right? Would have taken a little longer to produce them, maybe by a turn. On the other hand, we would have gotten all the way over here with 2 extra movement between 2 turns. We would have gotten here this turn. So I guess it kind of ends up being about the same. I mean, if it takes 1 turn longer to build it, it's not that big of an advantage, is it? Well, even so. Okay, I want to find... Hello, 2 more ruins. All right, yeah, sure. Raking that XP. I'll take it. What's over this way? There's a river, but it's kind of split between 2 regions and not very useful. Okay, looks like, yes, indeed, the fungal bloom is being planted over here now. There is another ruin we'll take advantage of here. Yeah, these regions are just dead to me. There's too much green, man. What am I going to do with all that nonsense? Now, okay, with the Baron, he starts off with Army Defense Boost, which is actually very, very strong. Especially since we already have pretty tanky units, so we're going to get a lot of benefit out of this. So, odds of enemies missing when they attack us are going to be very high. We can build upon that a bit more as an infantry hero by going for the Garb of Battle, which gives just a flat increase to defense, which is okay, but you know what's even better is actually going for distributed defenses, which gives you a percentage base increase. So overall, in the short term, it's going to be relatively equal, and this is faster to get to, but in the long term, this is probably going to be better. The downside is you'd have to go down the faction tree, which is not going to be good if we're not going to be using this guy as a governor. On the other hand, we could go down the common tree. So we grab Indiana Bones, for example, which increases the odds of getting loot from ruins, which is not bad. And then we could go for Fast Healer, which is okay. I don't really see a lot of benefit to that, but it would let us get up here pretty quickly. Then there's things like Defender for fortification values. I don't care about any of that. Infiltration, no. XP Tron units, it helps you level up armies quickly, and you can kind of just go down this route. Grab the defense, maybe backtrack and go for some extra defense on hero or life on units. This is not that important. This is not that important. It's nice. It's not huge. It's probably better to go for Cold Operator. So yeah, I mean, I think I would go for the distributed defenses and then maybe the life on units. And those would be probably the focus of a lot of my points. And if we had the extra stuff, okay, yeah, we can go for Garb for Battle, or we can start working toward Cold Operator so we have no negative effects. And then there's things like, you know, military upkeep, which isn't too bad. Attack on units when being involved in a siege, whether leading a siege or defending against one. There's some pretty reasonable militaristic paths we can do here. Yeah, I think we are going to go for Indiana Bones. I've convinced myself, I think. So let's do that, and hopefully that actually means I get some good loot out of these ruins as of the next turn. Which maybe not. There's the Mill Foundry. Okay, that's going to be the next thing that we want to queue up. How long until I can... Yeah, we're a ways off on being able to afford another pop. But the Founders Memorial in just a little bit will certainly help with that. And maybe we'll get lucky with these guys. That is more wine. So this region has 2 wine. Under... Oh, come on. Other circumstances, I would be very excited by that. As it is right now, not so much. Hey, look, more Eyeless Ones. So this region actually would have 3 Eyeless Ones and 2 wine. If I ever found myself desperate for a place to expand that has no dust at all, we'd consider this, but I'm not that desperate. All right, so the city. We can place one down here for 5, 3, and 22, or over here for 14, 8, and 22, and approval. Holy crap. Yeah, it's better than this in every way. 13, 5, and 22. This is just better. This is such a solid place for a city. Holy crud. Yep, we're doing that. Build it right on that salt desert. We're going to start importing mass amounts of salt for our enemies. That's why I'm doing that. Look at this. Look at the nice little trio of cluster. What fantastic timing to be... Oh, no. Fantastic timing. Okay. Well. Crap. We're ready to fight. Let's see if the hero can actually kill anything without dying. We do have the advantage of initiative, so I'm going to start right up in his face to kind of keep his morale lower, but we have no reinforcements, which concerns the crud out of me. So here's one advantage of playing as the Broken Lords. We have a little effect called... Let's see, is it Soulburn? No, that's not the one. Where is it? I assume we have it on this guy. Wait, do we not? Can be healed with dust. Oh, interesting. The hero doesn't have this. So most of my other units do have Soul Leech, I think it's what it's called. And what that does is when you defeat an enemy unit, it allows you to heal. I don't see any evidence that that is how it's going to work in this case. Fascinating. Are you unable to move? Certainly would appear that way. No, we just were out of combat. Oh, wait, no, never mind. All right, well, taking 0 damage and only 12, that's certainly going to help. If we can defeat this army, that's going to be great, because it will give me 15 gold, which we can use to reduce our city maintenance by a lot. I think the hero can win this, especially if we keep doing lots of damage like that. The fact that we have a lot of defense is part of why we're doing pretty well. 99 defense is helping a lot. I don't know if we're going to be able to destroy this army entirely. This is the last phase. We can kill 2 of them. We could also spend dust to heal the hero if we want to. I do want to defeat that avenging army. Let's instead first move over here. Search, 30 dust. Okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and kill the centaur. We should be able to beat this. I'd like to just go ahead and get that gold going. Let's see. I'm going to go over here so we can try to get off the high ground. Can you please go here and do this? Thank you. Don't give him any sort of terrain advantage. Yeah, taking 0. Yeah, we can win this. Still taking 0. Again, the fact that they're missing a lot. 148 defense. Wow. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. You did 0? Come on, kill him. There we go. Gosh, the hero's nearly dead, but okay. Sure, we defeated the avenging army. We get 15 gold. Yay! That can give me some extra gold. Or dust. Dust boosts. Whatever. The hero clearly needs to teleport somewhere else. We are playing with fire here, unfortunately. Okay. So I guess what I can do is start sending the army toward the Delvers. We haven't gotten a quest with them yet, and we probably should start getting quests from people, like talk to the Haunts and so on. Let's find out who's around here. I'll probably teleport the hero over here next. As soon as we grab this anyway. I just want to get some XP, you know? Alright, this guy over here will probably start with a mill foundry. We can remove fungal blooms. It costs 9 turns, which is not that great. Go for the mill foundry and then the Empire Mint. And what I probably want to do, honestly, once I have all this set up with the Empire Mints and stuff, is start ramping up Stalwart production and see if we can remove the Mycera from the game early. A little risky, a little aggressive, but if it works, it works. Now, we do need some science. Good news is, I think that the geomic labs here are actually going to be fantastic. So every single tile we have in our empire so far does have science on it. Which means we can get, let's see, there's 7 tiles, so 14 science in each city. Or we can go for public library, which is 11 plus 10% of whatever already exists. So 11.8 here, for example, and 11.9. So the geomic labs is actually better. All right, yeah, we're going to go for topography. Make sure we get some of that science ramping up. Okay. We got an achievement, Cities Builder. Really? Because I got a rapid... No, that can't be right. I don't even know what that achievement does. I'm sure it's not important. All right, 30 dust. I'm going to go ahead and teleport him here now so we have some movement left. And then we're going to move down here and we're going to parlay. Find out if these guys have a nice nifty quest for me. Return to the village when you're ready to give them 50 dust. Ah, 50 though? A little influence. It's okay. I think we will buy a pop over here for the extra production value. Can't quite afford another one anywhere else, so okay. Let's just do a quick little peek over here, see if there's anything interesting. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we're going to start heading up north. Actually, no. You're going to keep exploring. You guys are going to head down here. We're going to parlay with the Delvers and find out if there's anything of interest. If we can pacify them for free, awesome. If we can't, well, we'll just, you know, kill them. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.